Thanks for hopping on the show today, guys. We have the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Cody Askins. If you don't know this guy, you probably live under a rock. I mean, if you're not on YouTube, not on Facebook, not on Instagram, I understand, but he is everywhere. You look on any social media and you will see him. The guy's built multiple seven-figure companies. I want to appreciate you getting on. Thanks, Cody.
Dude, thank you, buddy. You got an awesome setup, phenomenal team, and I'm excited to spend some time with you, so thanks for having me.
Well, I'm excited.
It was a long drive, by the way. It was a long drive over here. It was like, I think it was like
1.4 miles,
5 minutes, maybe, caught a couple lights.
Yeah, so I have a favor to ask, first of all. If you could tell the viewers to like, subscribe, and comment below, I would appreciate it.
What are you doing watching if you're not freaking liking, commenting, subscribing, right? When you guys shoot videos, you want people to engage. So let's do that for Matt, man.
Awesome.
I'm gonna comment. Once you put this up, I'm liking, commenting, and subscribing. I think I'm already.
You haven't already? That's what I was gonna say.
I don't know if I've liked or commented, but that's gonna happen now.
Okay. I like that.
Right.
At least
Do
least like this one. That sounds good.
That's
so
right.
in this interview, I want to go over a couple things with you. I'm gonna go over some business stuff. I'm gonna go over some personal stuff.
Okay.
And then some mindset stuff.
Okay, good.
So I'm wearing, I don't know if the camera can see this, but I'm wearing the 8% socks today because I knew we had a special guest in the office.
Thanks, buddy.
But tell me, I mean, you've consulted probably some of the largest call centers in the nation. You have a conference. You've talked to thousands and thousands of agents. But for you personally, like honestly, why do you think that only 8% of agents actually make it in the business?
I mean, the short answer is they don't ask enough people to buy every week, right? But it generally comes down to, like, for people's not hitting goals, it normally comes down to three things, right? If I set a goal, like if the viewer set a goal, I want to make $100,000 this year. There's typically three things that get in the way of doing that, right? The first is effort. Am I putting in enough effort? Someone like you that's just freaking effort, like an effort dude. Like, you're not the best salesperson in the world as much as you have trained your staff to believe that. You're not the smartest dude in the world as much as, to me, you're a freaking genius, right? But overall, you're an effort guy. Like, you put in a ton of effort, right? Same for me. The second is skill. But the good thing about skill is we have the ability to increase our skill whenever we want, right? So if someone's watching, they're like, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10 on the phone, I'm like a 4. Well, dude, you have the ability to increase it, right? Like, I used to do push-ups and jump jacks before I would get on the phone. I would press play and record my calls, then listen back. Like, if I want to get better, I can. And then the third is knowledge. Like, most people, when they get into Medicare specifically, they don't know a lot. There's a lot to it. But you have the ability to know a lot. And yeah, but what's funny is most agents that fail, they use an excuse. Well, Matt Timmon didn't train me. Or the carrier sucked. Or, well, it was difficult. Or, oh, we got COVID and everything else, right? I'm in your studio today, so I'm maybe a little more polarizing than when I'm in mine.
Sure.
If you want to come up with an excuse, you can. But it simply comes down to the fact that you didn't put forth enough activity to sit with enough people, to ask enough people to buy, to make enough sales, to make enough money, so you didn't quit.
Okay, yeah, so the first one, that's easy to control.
Yeah.
But like, how do you get better? Like, what if you were starting out again, how would you invest to get a better skill set? Who would you talk to? What would you, if a Cody Askins wasn't a person, how would you develop that skill set?
The things I did as a brand new agent, anyone watching can do, by the way, okay? There's several things I did. I turned my car into a mobile learning university. I didn't listen to music. Like, music does not make me better. Maybe it makes me more hype, motivated, but it doesn't make me a better salesperson, right? So I plugged in Brian Tracy's The Art of Closing the Sale. And I'm going to have a book coming out this year with an audiobook and all that. But I used to listen to Brian Tracy's The Art of Closing the Sale on repeat every day in my car, to the office, to home, to appointments, and it's like $10, right? I listened to that. I also used to plug into sales training videos every single morning. And I still plug into Grant Cardone and some other things every single day. Like, if you want to improve, you will spend time getting better, right? So I would be training like our sales team. We train twice a day. We're role playing, we're listening, we're learning. I'm always listening to content in the car instead of music. Like, you'll never hear music in my car.
I'm the same way.
Which is so weird, but it's true, right?
Right.
So those are some things I did, and some of the things that I still do that agents need to do. It shows me if you're serious or not.
Right. So, you're one of my mentors on a personal and business level. But who are your mentors right now? Like, is it Cardone? Good. I mean, who are your? It may be people we don't know, but who are yours right now?
Yeah, I mean, from a Well, from a personal level, it's always been my father, right?
Yeah.
The dude
Yeah.
outworks everyone. Like as much like I put something on my Instagram story last night. Like who outworks me? Well, the truth is it's still my dad.
Yeah.
You know, for being honest. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, I was at the office like all weekend, but the dude is a freaking. He's just constant, man. But then also early in my career, Brian Tracy, a little bit of Zig Ziglar. I don't think I've actually released this yet. I've got Brian Tracy speaking on our 8% Nation virtual conference.
I'm ready for
in
that.
March.
Let's
So how about
go.
that?
That's awesome.
That's why you can have me on your podcast if you got one, right? We'll drop
Exclusive content
random
here.
stuff nobody's ever heard.
Let's
okay?
go.
Which is cool. But also, one of the things from a business standpoint, like mindset, learning how to operate these different companies that I've never done before, and some are vastly different than insurance, is Cardone for sure. Like he puts out a video. I mean, if it's a previous show, I may not watch it, but the dude puts out a video, I watch it. The dude puts out an Instagram story, I watch it.
Yeah, because that's where I am in my business right now. Like, I think I've gotten to the point where if I want to scale, like, I honestly have no idea what I'm doing. It's
Right.
like you said, it's an effort thing.
Yes.
So I'm with you on all of that. So, I mean, if you look, you're 30, right?
Old now, man.
Yeah.
Compared to you, I feel real old in this
I
office.
see some gray coming in.
Yeah, for sure.
But what does Cody Askins at 40 look like?
Flying around doing tours all over the country in my own private jet. The 8% Nation conference has 10,000 agents at it. I'm personally paying myself $10 million a year. We're personally doing $100 million in total company revenue. We have probably 250 staff, 50,000 square foot office building in Springfield, Missouri, which is pretty rare to see.
Yeah.
And the thing is, 10 years is a long flipping time. If you think about it, I'm still not thinking big enough.
Right.
As much as all that sounds freaking crazy, I'm still thinking too small because we've all got like this mental lid on our ability to keep thinking bigger. And every time, and we hit it. And we, you can push it up every now and then. That's why I do such crazy stuff because I got to freaking push it up.
Right.
And the more money I spend, the more stuff I do, the more I push it up. But dude, I am going to run into the lid constantly over the next 10 years. And in the next 10 years, I could have got farther than probably where I'll get.
How do you push the lid? Like what, because I see this all the time with agents, like especially younger agents. They say, if I made $100,000, I would be set.
Yeah.
But like, and that was me, but then you push it and you keep pushing and now it's,
Yep.
$100,000. It's like, that's not where I want to be. But how do you continue to push through the lid that you're talking about?
And it sounds cool to say, okay, I want to make $100,000. Dude, when I made $100,000 at 20 years old, I blew it all.
Right.
Like I remember half a dozen years ago being like, hey, if I could just make $5,000 a week, dude, I'll be set forever. And it's like, dude, I couldn't live on $5,000 a week.
Right.
Like, let's be honest. There's no freaking way now, especially. Okay. But the point is, at that time, it sounded like a major sick amount of money.
Right.
It's not. But the way you raise the lid is like the way I've raised the lid personally. Okay. I can't say for everyone else, but for me, what I did is when Cardone said you need to spend $15,000 and go to 10x 3 years ago, I did it, and that was the most amount of money I've ever spent on personal development, self-improvement. But I can tell you it paid off, right? Staying for the 50K mastermind after the last 10x. Like those moves, paying Coach Burt $25K to be in his coaching program for a year. Like being around those people paying that kind of money, whether I had it or not, and normally I didn't. And there's gonna be pivotal moments where people are not going to have it, but it's the right decision anyway, And like the amount of money I've had on the line of credits and credit cards, stuff like that, just to like push the limit would shock people. And maybe we'll get into that. I don't know. But I can just say that.
Maybe we should get into that.
Maybe we should. But all I know is overall, doing something crazy like the Texas training tour that we're doing. We got over 500 agents registered for that now. And we just released it a week and a half ago. Like I'm trying to push the freaking envelope, man. I am.
Yeah. So those events are free, right?
Correct.
Is that just straight a branding play for you guys, or what? Tell me what's going through your head with that event.
Yeah, because we'll spend 10 to 20 grand total budget.
Yeah.
Getting there, the whole team, 4 days, all that kind of stuff, Every ballroom, food, gas, hotel rooms, like all that kind of stuff. Like it adds up quick. The play is always get more attention, help more agents, brand, right? But we will make money too.
Okay.
I'm so good when I get in front of a room now And that's not like an arrogance thing. That's like I've spent 5 years finally
Right.
getting freaking good, and I'm still going to be crazy better in 5 years than I am now. Like hopefully that's just how it works, right? But we'll bring in over 50 grand in revenue
Oh, good.
from those 4 nights. Yeah. But the main thing is I was testing because I've told my team our brand has lifted a crazy amount in the last year and a half, 2 years.
100%.
They haven't seen it. So I'm like, dude, let's push the freaking envelope and find out.
Well, here's the deal is, dude, I remember calling your office for your Facebook leads.
Yeah.
I mean, 2.5 years ago when I first started, and I was like, I don't know if, like, full transparency, I don't know if this is like a real company. Like, I know you probably feel that too.
I mean,
but
yeah, probably wasn't really.
But dude, like within the past, I mean, just getting to know you better. I didn't know you at the time, but getting to know you over the past year or so, and seeing what you're doing, and just you guys evolving your product, it's been amazing. So,
thanks, buddy.
You know, you're talking about having credit lines out and stuff like that. What were some of your most difficult times in business? And it probably still, I mean, cash flow problems and stuff like that. But
sure,
I know you've talked about this before. But what was one time?
The first 8%.
Yeah, talk about that. Expand on that.
Man, if we didn't have an amazing local bank and an amazing wife and everything else, no way we could have pulled that off. Dude, we spent $500,000 on our first conference.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm not to the level that I am now financially, by not even close. When we think about that, that's 3 years ago.
Right.
You know? And I mean, we lost 200 grand. Like if we don't have like if we're not doing a decent amount in revenue and we don't have some line of credit, some other stuff moving around, man, like it wouldn't have happened. But the coolest thing is most people would have been like, I'm never going to want to lose 200 grand again.
Yeah.
I don't, but we just made money on the last 8%. Like it takes time sometimes. And I'm committed to the long game. Like I tell our team all the time, like imagine where we will be in a decade. And I just told you all the stuff that I plan to be reality. So it's like, dude, if we lose 200 grand in the process, who freaking cares?
Yeah, and that's the mindset I've definitely had to adopt. I mean, so I grew up in
it's like hard,
low income, like save everything, don't spend money sort of household. And I talked to a lot of, I'm like, I'm willing to lose money this year. I'm willing to lose money next year. Because I know, like, especially in the Medicare space, it's long term. But like that's so hard.
Yeah.
Was it a taught skill? Was it a forced skill? I mean, how do you do that?
It was a forced skill along the way to where I forced myself to do something I didn't want to do. And then every time after that, it got easier. Now I'm like, it's 25 grand. Screw it. Just do it. Is it okay? Is it going to help?
Right.
Boom. Question number 1, is it going to help? Yes. Okay, good. Let's ask question number 2 then, right? Question number 2. Question number 2 is, am I going to get a return on investment? Am I going to pick up an idea or a nugget? I'm going to get a return on investment. Yes. Question number 3, why the freak do we pull the trigger sooner?
Yeah.
Right?
Why didn't we do it yesterday? Gotcha. Yeah. So I have heard this question asked to you a couple times, and I don't know if you did it on purpose or not, but you dodged it, okay? And it's your personal income. All right. So right now in 2021,
that's funny.
How are you going to pay yourself? And you don't have to be like down to the cents, but what's going to be your rough personal income? I know your companies do 10, 20 million.
Sure.
But you personally, how do you pay yourself?
What's funny is I've always paid myself less people think along the way. And you probably know that, just seeing, like, being local and us chatting a little bit every now and then. I'll get paid. So what's funny is we have all these different companies, right?
Yeah.
CA, 8%.
And how many is it? How many companies?
CA, 8% Nation, I forget sometimes. CA, 8% Nation, Sam, Sal, Askins Financial. I'm involved in Secure Insurance Group. And then also we're looking at starting Askins acquisitions soon, where we actually buy Medicare insurance agencies around the country with investors.
That is so cool.
Probably technically 6 or 7. But what's funny is they're all, so we pay ourselves personally, and then they're all funneling cash every month into Think Big Enterprises, which nobody's ever heard of because it's like a private entity that I have. So we never talked about. And it's kind of it's like why. So that's what our CPA has set up over the years. Like we've got a business attorney, we've got a CPA, and we've also got a tax planning companies that do stuff for us from a savings standpoint. Once your net worth gets a little higher and income and stuff, it starts to happen. We will, long story short, if I had to like just throw out a guess of like me and not my, just my household maybe, probably We'll just say it'll be north of 500-600K.
Okay,
for sure.
I thought it was somewhere. You could probably pay yourself triple that if you wanted to, but you just don't.
What's funny is there's a few things I want to do. There's a few things I want to do that I'm putting off on purpose. I want to own a Ferrari. I want to pay myself $1 million a year. I want a private jet. Like, there's things that I want, and there's a few of those that I could do now. But I'm still, this is still a limiting belief that holds me back a little bit probably. I'm still concerned that when I do it, I'm going to slow down.
Okay.
Like, I'm going to think I've arrived, and I'm going to stop freaking pushing. And that's...
I don't think that'll happen. Because, you could have looked 3 years into the future 3 years ago and saw what you have now, and you thought, I've made it.
Yeah.
I almost guarantee it. I mean, you probably see that in yourself too.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my next question is like, dude, you pulled up in a brand new Audi Q8. I've seen your house. You're getting ready to buy a jet. I don't know if anybody knows that, but it's happening, guys.
I'm buying a plane this year, yes.
He's buying a plane.
Yeah.
What keeps you going, man? Like you've got a company that pretty much runs without you.
That's true.
Essentially.
A couple of them, yeah.
Like that income is automated. You got the stuff. Like,
there's 3 of them I mentioned that I'm not as involved in the day-to-day anymore. Yeah.
Sure. But like, what keeps you going, man? What keeps you striving, going? Because it's not income, I can tell you that.
No, it's never been about the money for me.
Right.
You know, like, I am committed to pushing the envelope. You know, like, for me, it's we're creating a new hype video in our office right now for this tour for when I walk out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, quit playing the same freaking video. Let's make a new one, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I want this tour to be something special. And it starts out the video and says something along the lines of, like, when people think of the word insurance 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now, like, I want them to think about me. It's more of like a legacy and a help thing. Like, I want to be in a place where when people say, who's done the most for other insurance agents? That dude.
Cody Askins.
That dude. And it's more of like leaving something on the industry, being remembered, doing something special. Because I remember 2 or 3 years ago, like people still making fun of me. You know, like, this dude ain't serious. This is never gonna last. He's never gonna make it. Like, he's crazy. Like, oh, what is he starting all these other companies that aren't actually selling insurance? Like, this isn't making sense. This will never pay off. Like, this will never work. It's working, and it's gonna keep working better than people think. But it's because I just have chose not to quit. Like, if I can leave a message for anybody, it's like, there will be moments in life where you do not feel like getting up. Just like my favorite movie, Rocky, especially Rocky number 4, the dude just keeps getting up. And there's going to be plenty of moments in our industry especially where you do not want to get up, but please keep getting up. Yeah. I promise it'll pay off.
Yeah. Well, I think that's enough on the personal side of you, but again, you consult some of the $100 million call centers, $100 million field agencies. The people who own those and operate those, like, yes, they do the effort. They invest in coaching, but I'll put it this way. We were at your Power Players event here in Springfield, and there's some big dogs in that room. I mean, I'm like a small fly on the wall in that room. There's guys doing, $5 million revenue, maybe some doing more than that. And one thing that I noticed is you're vibrating at a different level than everybody in that room. And, I compare that to some of these big agency owner guys. Like, what do you see in them that you don't see in 99.99% of agents and agency owners? What are they doing differently?
The real serious ones that are really doing well, and there's few of those, by the way.
Right.
They're constant promoters. Like, they believe in what they're doing so much. Like, you've probably seen the last month, 2 months, 3 months, I've turned up my promotional game. Like, my activity game. Like, I'm gone 16 to the next 20 weekends. I'm like, put something every freaking weekend. I don't want to do time off. I don't need it. Like, I work out every day. I'm in great shape. I just did an Ironman. Like, I can go for days. Come on now. Come on to Goggins, right? No, I'm just kidding. But, like, because of that, I have turned into, I was a salesperson. Now I'm a promoter. every person that has a business, a company, your own income, you have to be a promoter. And I see the big time people like Cardone. The dude's one of the best promoters on planet Earth. And why is that so important? Because the more active I am, the more I promote, the more I help people, the more I'm out there, the more I put myself out there, the more I do stuff I don't want to do, the more content I do, the more of this kind of stuff I do, etc. The more people see me in a different way. And the more people notice. Like, people notice when you do stuff.
Right.
Whether you think they're noticing or not, someone is watching.
I mean, I see it every day, and when you get around someone enough, it kind of mellows it out a little bit. But I don't think I'm around you enough for that to happen. But it probably wouldn't happen anyway, because you're always evolving, you're always getting better every single day.
It's almost like it's almost like a personal hindrance at times, because I'm sitting watching a movie or in a hot tub, and my brain's moving like flipping crazy, and I'm pulling up my phone, and I'm like, my wife's like, "Can you not just take a break and just relax?" And I'm like, "I'm trying."
Yeah.
Okay. Right. But it's that's why I don't love Christmas and New Year's and that kind of stuff, like holidays, because 4-day weekends, I'm like, I don't want to lose momentum.
Right.
I'm operating at such a frequency right now that I don't want to slow down. Like I just moved into an office that's the new office.
It's awesome, by the way.
Thanks, buddy. It's so 6,500 square feet, security and marketing. We moved our entire company over there. Mm-hmm. I also moved into a personal office that's actually bigger than my CA sales team office now. It's like, I don't even know, probably 24 by 12. Like it's 50. I don't know. It's big. It's a big office. Okay, and
that's bigger.
Yeah, it's bigger than this. It's longer than this for sure. Yeah, and the reason why we did is because my wife and Andy wanted me to. Not because I really wanted to, because I'm like, that's a lot of flipping space. I really need this. Or you're shooting videos, you got people coming over, you got people coming to town, you need to have a space. Because I've always been okay not having an office. I've always been okay having the smallest office in the building. And so there's people along the way that, they think I've got this massive ego or, whatever else, but it's like, there's behind the scenes moves that they don't see. That those kind of things are not as important to me as they are to others. Like those perceptions, like at the end of the day, like you don't see me, just walking around and, covered in, Louis Vuitton stuff and rolling in a Ferrari. Like that's not my style, because I want the message to be that it's constantly there to help others. And the person that keeps that focus, like I write that down in my goals every morning, I'm telling you, it people feel it.
Right.
And it ups the trust factor.
Yeah, yeah. So next question on top of that would be, I know some of your salespeople at least decently, and they said when you first started your company, you're very, very hard on people, which I understand. I get it as having some people in the office here. I'm
not anymore.
That's what they say. I don't know if I believe them.
I'm not as involved in the day-to-day in HR.
Maybe you're just paying them more, and so they're shutting up. But
I also hired better people.
True that. How do you go from that? Because I feel that as an agency owner.
Yeah.
Like you want control. You want everybody doing things right.
Yeah.
What changed? Is it hiring better people? Is it a change in mindset? Go from a year or 2 years ago to now.
Yeah.
Why do you think you've been able to get more hands off on the business? And also, how do you think you found the good people?
I've found people that I don't have to tell them what to do. And if I do, it's just weird.
Yeah.
Like I've paid more. I've hired better people. The people I have now make way more money than the people that used to be there. Sorry, the people that used to be there, but it shouldn't have sucked. Okay. They make more money. They're better. I don't have to tell them what to do. And I'm in a place now where if I've got to stop and tell my assistant to go check an email, that's a problem.
Yeah.
If I have to stop what I'm doing to check on my team members, something's wrong. Something's broken. Because I'm in a spot now where I've got a few roles, and the more free time I have, the more creative I am. That's a little bit hard to get used to, by the way. But the more creative I am. And we need me to be very creative, right? So I'm constantly promoting content, whatever, helping sales, and planning events. That's it. There's other than helping a lot of our consulting clients. That's also the reason why we just raised our consulting from anywhere from 36K to 60K because we had a lot of people reaching out for that, and it was good. It's cool. It's an increase in revenue. That's great. But if I don't have any free time to sell, promote, or plan events, then we're going to slow down.
Yeah. So walk me through a day in Cody Askins' life. You get. I'm sure you get up 5:30, somewhere around there. Yeah. What happens next? Walk me through it all.
Yeah. So I would say anywhere from 5:30 to 6. I am getting my stuff together for the day. We're headed out to work out, whether it's Jimmy or John. We go to AYB with Jimmy.
I see it every day.
Yeah. That was this morning, by the way.
Yep.
Worked out, go home, make some espresso now. I used to have my assistant get me Starbucks every day, but now I actually make my own espresso. It's actually not bad. It doesn't take much time, and I actually enjoy it, and it's good.
Good.
And I am, taking a shower, getting dressed, walking through my, goals, and right, because pre 6 a.m., workout goals, and then on the way to work I'm listening to a video or a podcast or something, right? And then I finished the shower with a cold shower. That's the 5th thing, which most of the time, some days I'm like just mentally operating a different level. You guys know what I mean? Like, it's just weird how sometimes I'm like, dude, I could stand here for hours, and then some days I'm like, dude, I'm freezing cold, like, get me out of here. I don't know, it's weird. But then I'm getting to the office probably 8 o'clock ish, maybe sometimes a little later. We kick off our day with a team at 8:30 to 5:30. I'm in a team meeting at 8:30, all team. I'm doing a sales meeting from 8:35 to 8:50 with all the salespeople, both teams, and I'm kicking that off. We've got an 8:50 directors meeting for Secure Agent Marketing. A 9/11 CA full team meeting.
9/11 down to the
911, baby.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. And then random stuff, right? So I'm thinking of ideas. We're planning events. I'm meeting with the team about different stuff. I've got different consulting or coaching sessions. Normally only on Tuesdays and Thursdays we try to. I'm traveling so much now that's getting a little harder. And then shooting content. My assistant normally brings me lunch at some point. I'll either do like Haruno sushi, or Subway, or like barbecue, or like a few random things. Or my wife will bring me something.
You're not taking off an hour for lunch though. You're getting that lunch and you're going.
Yeah, I mean 10 minutes maybe. Yeah, I'm working. And then 1:30 sales team training again. And then different stuff in the afternoon. Tuesdays and Thursdays, a lot of consulting. Monday and Friday, we purposely don't do stuff as much on purpose.
That's your creative time?
Yep, more creative on those days. And then Wednesday is like kind of a catch up a little bit.
Yeah. Do you ever turn off? Like for me, dude, all the time. Insurance, like
I feel it.
Could be Saturday night at 9 o'clock. It doesn't matter. Do you ever shut it off?
Only time I try to shut it off, and it's impossible still. So really no. I mean, it's pretty rare. But after 8% every year, we'll go on a vacation for like a week, 10 days, and try to relax. The problem is I'm already thinking about what we can do better for the next year, and I'm already calling speakers to like hire people and stuff. So I guess not.
Okay.
That's weird to a lot of people, by the way. Maybe not to you, but that's weird to a lot of people.
Well, and when I started in the business, I was like, I'm going to make $1 million, and I think that's what everyone else wants too. I thought everyone wanted what I wanted, and that's definitely not the case.
No.
If you're bringing on, downlines and stuff like that, you find out real quick that's not what everyone wants.
That's right.
But I just saw for 8% that you're having Eric Thomas.
DT, the hip hop preacher.
Do you got anyone else that you can share on the if you can, it's okay.
But. I can't promise it'll happen this year, but we were in heavy discussions with Peyton Manning.
Oh, dude. Nationwide is on your side, baby.
That's right. I need Nationwide to sponsor that. We were in heavy talks. It's pricey.
Yeah.
I can't promise it'll happen this year, but I'm looking to do some I can tell you I'm looking to do some unique stuff this year.
Good.
Anybody that misses 8% 2021 is going to regret it. That's all I'm going to say. We were thinking way more creative than ever before.
And just to plug, where is it? How much does it cost? All that stuff.
It's at the Dallas, the Statler Hotel again. I love the Statler Hotel. It's July 23rd, 24th of this summer. We're also doing an 8% virtual conference in March that's totally free, by the way. It's like the 5th and 6th. We're going to do 2 days. We'll have over 10,000 agents to register for that, for sure. And that one will have Brian Tracy and other people. That'll be like a free one to help get people to the main one.
Yeah.
And then ticket prices anywhere from a few $100s to $10,000, you know.
Yeah. I think we have 6 tickets now for myself and some guys behind the camera.
How do we get you to 60? That's the real question, man. Like, how is it? I'm on stage. I'm looking down. I'm like, dude, the whole conference is freaking timid now, man.
Maybe we can make it happen.
Dude, I believe it.
It's a shot.
Dude, I can pull it off. It's you, man.
That's hopefully we'll see. But Eric Thomas, that's a big name. How do you pull a guy like that? What is that like? Walk me through that process.
That one's a lot harder than people think, by the way. I'm glad you asked. Nobody's ever asked me that. I'm surprised they haven't lately. I've been trying to get Eric. So I've been listening to Eric Thomas since 2012.
Yeah.
Way before most people were. Like we had a CD that one of my other agents in the office actually gave me of Eric Thomas, and I started listening. I'm like, dude, this dude is good, man. Holy freak. So then I thought about having him back in 2018. You know, loved him, and I'm like.
And that was the first year.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Didn't work out dates wise. Then 2019, he says he's not doing corp. 2019 or 2020, he said he wasn't doing events anymore, other than Zone. Like, I'm not speaking anywhere else ever again. And I'm like, oh shoot.
Yeah.
I may have missed my window for freaking Eric Thomas, man. So, right. After this last event, we followed up probably dozen calls, 24 emails. Like, I would check with my team every day. Did we hear back? Did we hear back? Did we hear back? I don't care if they don't do events. Did we hear back? Just pay them more. Just figure it out, right? And I finally had to send an email that was very direct to get them to respond. They wouldn't respond to my staff. They responded to me. And I got an agreement out of them. But what I did is I made it direct. I left it really simple. Here's what I want. Here's when I need him. Here's why I want him. And here's what I'm willing to pay. And they're like, agreed, we're in.
All right.
It took a few weeks, man.
So if anybody thinks Cody isn't good at sales, listen to what he just did. He took a lot of people know Eric Thomas. A lot of people. Yeah. He took a guy who said, I'm never doing an event again. And he got him to do an event. I mean,
and those that don't believe that, I can find the email that says, like, we're not doing corporate events anymore.
Dude, plug it on the screen or something, Dylan. We got to get that on here.
Thanks, buddy.
I don't know if you're comfortable sharing this, but like, what does a guy like that cost?
Eric Thomas will all in. He'll be north of 60.
$60,000 for what, an hour and a half?
Yeah, so he'll be on stage for about 45 minutes, and he'll be in a private room for about an hour with our top fire ticket holders.
Yeah, and a question off of 8%, I was going to ask earlier, do you see 8% evolving into different industries? Like, yeah, you were an insurance agent.
Yep.
It's specifically, right now at least an insurance agent conference, but do you see it evolving into just like a sales or business conference in general, or what do you think that looks like?
It's a really good question. I've always kind of, I do see some of what I'm doing getting bigger than just the insurance industry at some point. If you'd asked me that a year or two ago, I'd have said no. Now I'm like, maybe, right? Because I think we're going to reach a cap in our industry at some point.
Yeah.
10,000 agents in person, 100,000 agents online in a virtual conference, which will happen next couple of years. Like, that's a lot of flipping people just in insurance. So,
well, that's 10,000 who can pay for it, who are committed, and that show up. You were telling me this a couple months ago.
I'll have to get the flipping rock to pull that off, though. You know what I mean? Like, I'll have to get Dwayne the Rock Johnson showing up.
Let's do it. What percentage of people who buy a ticket don't even show up?
If we're talking about VIP tickets, like lower level tickets, which is why we don't do GA general admission anymore. Yeah. I'm like, screw it. You guys don't show up, man. Like,
yeah.
$100, $200 for a ticket. Like, you got to pay. But this is real, by the way. You have to pay. People have to pay before they pay attention. And let that sink in. Like, most people don't understand that. People have to pay before they pay attention. Like, that's why I'm not in love with the free training tour. The fact that it's free, but it's probably half of those won't show up. It's just part of the game. But as far as VIP, I think we had I think 40 or 50% still didn't show that bought a ticket last year.
So crazy.
And you wonder why people fail. Like,
Yeah,
you spend
yeah,
money,
for real.
you commit to doing something and going somewhere, and then you don't go.
Don't get the value out of it.
I mean, that's the problem with our industry.
Right, right. Well, Cody, I don't know what the time is. I don't know how long this was supposed to go on,
Probably
but
like 30 minutes, I would guess.
could we give yourself a plug on social media? How can people reach you?
Dude, I would love for them to follow us on YouTube if they're not already. At Cody
Just Cody Askins?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of my favorite places to engage is Instagram, at Cody.Askins. I respond to a lot of the messages on my own. Normally, if it's a video or a shorter response, it's me. If it's a longer response, it's definitely my team.
Okay.
My team watches my Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all that. They do all the posting, and they'll respond to a lot of the messages actually too. But I try to, Instagram is my favorite at this point. I'm pretty active, 20 plus stories every day.
Yeah.
And trying to respond to messages.
Cool.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Well, if we talked about 8%, we talked about some of your coaching programs, but for an agent that's just getting started, how can you help them?
I can help them several ways, and it doesn't have to be paid, by the way. I think you got to pay attention, so I think you should pay. However, that's why we're doing this.
I think you should pay too.
Yeah, I think that's why we're doing this $77 8% Nation Mentorship Program. We have a couple hundred agents pay $77 to jump on for 4 weeks, and I'm not even doing any sales training or phone training. Like, I'm just doing some mindset stuff, like sharing some random stuff, and getting people to get out of their own way. And so, like, no matter what it is, there's no doubt. Can I help you? Yes. Should you allow me to help you? Yes. Will you make more money if I help you? 100%. I'm not the best in the world at it, but I can promise you, I feel an obligation when I take people's money to deliver. I'm going to Texas. I don't have to deliver nothing. It's flipping free. But I can promise you, I will be on fire and the best I've ever been in person at those 4 events, because people are still taking time, gas money, energy to time away from family, etc., to come spend 2 or 3 hours with me at 7 o'clock at night or 10 a.m. on a Saturday. I feel obligated to deliver no matter what I'm doing. That's just the way I was raised.
Awesome. Well, I hear a lot of people talk about goals and ambitions and things they want to do. And do I believe some of them? Absolutely. Do I not believe some of them? Absolutely. But when I hear Cody Askins talk about goals and what he's going to do, he's going to do it. I mean, he talks about the income, the jet, everything. Guess what? He's already doing a lot of that stuff. You asked me 2 years ago if I thought Cody Askins would have a jet. I know he talked about it. I didn't think it was going to happen.
Come on now.
But
you know me better than that now.
Well, yeah, so I've gotten to know Cody a lot better, and I know he just does what he says he's going to do. And guys, if you haven't seen this guy before, you must live under a rock, but follow him, get coaching from him. I appreciate you getting on the show today, and dude, let's rock this thing.
Boom. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you guys for watching. Keep following this dude, man. Like, comment, subscribe, right? You got to do it, man. You got to do it. Thank you, buddy.
Let's go.